Perfect.
Now,
All right, let's bring in this episode.
okay,
And for everybody
let me
listening
let me
right
start
now,
it off.
we are just now starting to talk for the very first time. We're seconds into this recording right now.
Yeah,
So
exactly. No other conversation about anything that's divisive happened at all. But let's go ahead and kick it in. Hum, hum, hum. What's really good, pot stirrers? Welcome to another episode of Love, War, Challenges. Oh yeah. Hold on. I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. What's really good? Gang, 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 gang.
we're
Today
okay.
is
We're okay.
yeah, we're okay. We're dealing with our new reality, and you have to deal with it too. But today we are on season 40, episode 12 of MTV's The Challenge. I just brain farted real quick. What is the name of the show?
Oh, this show is called Battle of the Eras.
Oh my God! You know what? They took away the Eris thing, and that doesn't make sense. Okay, so starting
Well,
off where we came from.
the episode I think was what was the episode called? It was called they don't have it on here. I saw it, but it was like the purge,
That's probably something I'm going to name this
the
episode.
era of the purge. I think it was
Era
like
of
the
the
era of
Purge.
the purge or something like
That's what I'm
that.
going to
Yeah.
name this episode because I have not thought about it at all.
There you go.
All right. Starting things off, Bananas, Jordan, and Nehemiah are the targets. Michelle says something very interesting in the A block. She says, we got to see where Cara really stands. We might want to pick her up. I thought that was an amazing idea. Cara is kind of skating, kind of playing the middle, not really because really we got people on both sides who she's not friendly with, but people on both sides that she are, but she hasn't really picked a side at this. Do you think Michelle's game and that side of the room is vastly improved by adding Cara?
I mean,
Because Cara does come with a big target attached to her just by name alone.
here's the thing. She has not been performing that well this season
Super mid.
enough that it would like really make a difference. Like if you told me right now, next daily is something, just a random daily, who has a better chance of winning it, Michelle or Cara? I'd say either. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be a coin toss. Like, I don't see her at this point dominant. I think what Kara's doing is Kara is laying low. She's not winning, she's not losing. She's just sitting in the middle and she's not making enemies, she's not making decisions, she's not, making deals. She's letting people come to her and she's just letting all the cards on the table. Like it's almost like Kara gets to go to a blackjack table, but before she gets to place a bet, she gets to see everybody's hands and then she gets to go, okay, I'll play. Like, what do you have, dealer? What do you have? What do you have? Okay, yep, I'll sit at the table. Like, she gets to see everything first. It's very unique and different. So I mean, yes, it does help Michelle. Having a number helps, but it doesn't. Car's not winning dailies right now to really save them.
You know, that's one of the things that's really interesting about this season. A lot of times during seasons, we see people, just scrambling to get the numbers. And in this game, it really doesn't matter. Having the right people, having the people who win dailies, and people who know how to play the game is way more valuable than having a high amount of people. Actually, if anything, we're seeing more of a hindrance the larger a group is because lines get crossed, people make side deals. It really doesn't matter if you have 12 people voting for you or whatever, because there's no real popular vote this time. So I
No, and
really
it's
like the
just like
format.
it's like if you send somebody in that and they win, they're just gonna send you back in. Like you're gonna be a target. It really this season really seems like a tennis match, which for a lot of people that are dogging on this season, I see a lot of people that are dogging because it's like beginning. It was like, oh, we didn't get blah 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 blah. Okay, now it's like, oh, now we're not getting these super great headbanger eliminations every time. Like, why aren't people getting concussions every episode? We want that. We don't care about physical well-being of the challengers. That's what I'm hearing. I'm reading between the lines. But then also we're hearing it's just like, oh, so much this is it's like actually this is the most balanced challenge season we've ever seen.
I'm so glad you said that. I do. I am enjoying this season. I am finding it very balanced. a little bit math heavy, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I do understand its value. I'm like, most of the eliminations have been really, really good. I said on Twitter last night, I was just like, this elimination is way more entertaining than I thought it would be. By
Fantastic.
far.
I thought it was great.
I thought it was fantastic.
The
It
whole
was
the whole point
fantastic.
of the whole point of the cards was just to make sure that there was like a winner for who got to put in two.
And
Like it really
and
was nothing.
don't get me wrong. I as soon as I saw this, I was disappointed. Oh, this is going to be so stupid. This is going to be
Hmm.
so dumb. And next thing I know, I'm just like, oh man, they should have showed more. They should have showed every. I thought it was great. But we'll get to that. Before that, though, before we head out of the A block, it's something you said a couple of times during the season, and I noticed Rachel said it. She said, with the targets that's going in and stuff, she's like, I don't want to come in last or whatever, da da da. But she's like, I also don't think it's in my best interest to win. And I remember you said that before, and just like, man, these people aren't really thinking about that. And I keep saying, Rachel is playing one of the greatest lone wolf games we ever seen, and she clocked that shit at the beginning.
Did you
I
notice?
thought that was fantastic.
Do you notice during this episode she was talking? I think it was to Kylan. So she was politicking, and while she was politicking, she was doing a slider puzzle
That's
in her
right.
hands. She was doing a puzzle and politicking at the same time, effortlessly. And I was like, "Holy cow!" The challenge has really missed out on what Rachel could have been. Like realistically, if Rachel just was on this trajectory of like what Laurel and Cara and Tori, where they're just on like multiple seasons in a row, this conversation isn't like a surprise of like, oh yeah, Rachel's on the Mount Rushmore. It would just be there's Rachel and everybody
Everybody
else.
else. And here goes a crazy thing. And you also pointed this out. Not having Tina, not having Veronica, and letting her play. As and don't get me wrong, Veronica's a legend, like a 3-time woman champ. Like, fuck out of here. Tina is iconic for her own reasons, but and I get that they're all friends, they all want to look out for each other. But man, talk about an anchor. I do love the fact that I do see both of them on social media, really just rooting for her to go. So that is also really, really great to see. But man, just a great Lone Wolf game. But moving on to today's daily, which is called Dune. So fitting and relevant. I get on these guys a lot for their stupid names, but just calling this Dune and making it a mini final. I love mini finals. My only gripe about this mini final is I think it's placed too late because we're hop skipping and jump from being in a regular final. The mini
Yeah.
final should be signify the middle of the season.
Well, I believe right now, so I always am on Challenge Wiki. And so if I don't know if this is like they're just like sitting here, but right now it shows that there's two episodes after this to be determined. So we have a Best Friends for Era is the next one, and then Swinging Era are the next two episodes.
That's it.
And I'm sitting here. Well, I don't. Maybe they're gonna add more. You know what I mean? Maybe this is just like that's what they know so far of what the names are called, so they're not putting them out. But yeah, I mean, we're looking at this. We have what? We have 6 men left. We have 7 women. And
Yeah, it's still pretty big.
next episode, let's say we lose another, so now we're at 6. Okay, well, we still have to lose 2 more from each side to have 8 people in the final, which is what we're assuming the final
Well,
is.
maybe it's 6. 2 people, last 2 people in the first checkpoint of purge.
Which means I think that after this next elimination, I think we're gonna have double eliminations, men and women, to go to 5, and then I think we're gonna go to a final, and I think we're gonna get a purge of 5th place in the final as well.
That makes sense.
Is
I'm
what I
not
think is
against
gonna
that.
happen. But I agree. I think that this would have been, hey, individual phase, we are now in it, and then the next daily should have they should have moved all these down. So like this should have been episode 10. And then we should have gotten a purge and everything, and then we should have done fire away, then building bridges, I think.
So, Dune is the mini final, and I love, love, love mini finals. What season was it when they had Exiles? That was Fresh Meat, right?
So exiles are from fresh meat. They're only exclusive to fresh meat. Yeah.
Um, I thought those was excellent too. And they kind of brought those back in, I want to say War of the Worlds too. Like,
War of the
which one
Worlds
was it
2,
with Nani versus
Nani versus
Manny and Mitchell?
Ashley. Yeah, that was the very last elimination on War of the Worlds 2.
Right. I thought that was absolute fantastic. Fantastic. This one I loved because it was a good mini final It had a lot of running, but I also really enjoyed the fact that they didn't do too much with the checkpoints. First checkpoint was you got to dig and find the key. Second checkpoint, unlock paddleboard and paddleboard 1 mile. Then you got a memory game and sprint to the finish. I think this was a really great sign that less is more
Mhm.
while still giving us a lot. As a mini final, absolutely fantastic. What did you
The
think of the mini final?
I thought it was fantastic. I thought it was really good. I think it's up there with some of my favorite mini finals are Battle of the Seasons, which is a season people don't really
Mm,
like, but they had to carry like those logs up, and
yeah.
then you had to you had to memorize the puzzle of what was on your log, and then take them all the way up top. But you only could take one per person at a time. And then also Rival or X's two, where they had to like pull open the puzzle piece and the women could look in and then they had to run up and everything. Those are really good. And then this one was kind of the same thing. It was you're here, do simple tasks, but you're going a long distance. Yeah,
You know, I gotta stop you real quick because I just checked. It looks like you got some messages on our podcast.
I have some messages.
Well, it's in your
We
warehouse. Yeah, we been talking about you.
okay.
This is from Nicole Costa. Big shout out to Nicole. She said, I think you guys should do power rankings by gender since we are getting a male and female winner. Also, Michelle is very good friends with Derek. Also, probably my favorite part of the season. I love y'all breakdown in depth.
Well, if that's the case, I guess. Now I got to do this on the fly. So if this, he's going to keep this in. You guys are going to see these power rankings live and everything. Of how my process kind of works with this. I mean, the men and women switching and everything is fine. Keeping them by themselves. I just always looked at like how well you play in the game itself. Whereas like if a woman is dominating, I think she should be ranked higher than the men, and that's just like how I look at things. Um, because eventually we're going to start putting out content of like ranking all winners and everything and stuff like that. So I think that's kind of where this will come into. But I understand where you're sitting, and yeah. All right. Well, you're back quick. That was a super quick.
So yes, big shout out Nicole Costa. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you. Where were we at? I was explaining the checkpoints.
Well, you were telling us about some fan
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
comments and
Nicole
everything,
Costa.
and
So basically, why don't you break down the power rankings by male and female? Is there a reason? Is
well,
there a method behind your madness?
I was kind of explaining it here when you were gone and everything, and that I just look at like the individual's game as a whole, and that's kind of where it was. It's like I think it's I think the reason why some people would do it this way is to like you give one side their fair stake because you're really not. But if we look at like my power rankings, like Rachel, let's see, one, two, one, two, three, one, two. I mean, it's been two and three almost every week of men and women in my top five every week. So I just, for me, it's just like who's playing the best game
I got you.
necessarily, especially since they're working in alliances with each other. Like, yeah, there's only going to be one winner at the end of each, men and women, but they're all playing the same game.
So Nicole also pointed out that the challenge historian also does power rankings too. And I'm really kind of interested. I think I'm going to look it up to see how his power rankings compare to yours.
It really depends. So I've seen a lot of power rankings in the past, and a lot of people like have like really like personal preference. Like they like a challenger, so they will value them more when they rank them.
Hmm.
Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. But when I rank things, it's kind of based on performance. And it used to be I used to count confessionals. I used to add that in
Mm.
a number. I used to count confessionals. I used to do their daily placement, and then they get bonus points for winning a daily or winning an elimination and stuff like that. So it's purely performance, and it's an NFL type power ranking.
And I understand you try to be biased. Not saying that anybody else isn't, but that's just how you do your things.
Yeah, and I love seeing other people do things and everything, and it's not even like I'm not the end all
Absolutely.
be all. I'm not the end
I,
all be all. I've
so
just been doing power rankings for 10 seasons.
speaking of which, a couple of shout outs. Big shout out to Bloody Money 47. Always seeing you, always commenting, always tagging. Appreciate it. And big shout out to the Challenge Unbothered Facebook group and podcast. Off the Hook podcast. Gamer Vev was good. Stir the Pod. All of you guys out there doing challenge pods. Caffeine Confessionals. All of you guys. Big shout out to everybody doing challenge content. The more the merrier. um, there's a spot for anybody who wants to contribute. But moving right along, I'm not even on my notes. I'm sending text. All right. Theo gets a 2 minute penalty. Did you think that penalty was enough?
Um,
Considering
I
there's a
yeah
digging portion and
yeah
a puzzle and a kayaking? I mean, seems like a really slap on the wrist.
no, because here's the thing. It's just a punishment. It's a hindrance. Everybody else got an advantage because they beat him. Think about this. What if last episode, because there's 8 guys, right? What if he only lost by like 7 seconds to seventh place? And now he's losing a 2 minute. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that
rivals,
makes sense.
rivals one, Wes and Kenny were up on the mountain about an hour before Johnny and Tyler, and then the next day they only got a 2 minute advantage, and then Johnny and Tyler win by like 30 seconds. So it's like, what are we doing here? There's always I don't think there's ever going to be a fair way when you do these things. I think 2 minutes is just it's fine. It's all right. I mean, unless the only other way that would have been worse is if he had to find 2 keys. You know what I mean? Like he had to dig for 2 things, but he could start at the
Mhm.
same time. Because who knows how long that would have taken. But overall, I mean, I think it's a fine disadvantage.
Speaking of your hero, Kenny,
Ooh,
um,
I sent you that. Yeah,
oh
not my
no,
hero.
no,
Not my
not even
hero.
that. Not your hero. I'm just giving you shit. But somebody else sent me something else, and he lightly touched on his challenge career a little bit.
Who did?
Kenny, I'm trying to find it. Basically, they were talking about, hey, what's the lowest in your life? He was just like, oh, at one point, I broke up with my girlfriend, and then I was accused of something that was bullshit on national TV, and he kind of just glossed over it.
Well,
And
he
people,
can't legally talk about it.
people kind of said that too. They were just like, oh, you're not supposed to be talking about it. Da 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 da. I thought it was really, really interesting. I'm trying to see.
Well, I mean, he could be talking about a lot of things because it's not like he only did one thing. Like he could be talking about him
Well,
and Johanna
yeah,
hooking up on the island and breaking, a friendship with Wes, even though they said they weren't friends, but they worked together before. Who knows?
who knows? Anyway,
I remember
uh,
seeing something a couple of years ago, and this is before Johnny won like 35. So it might have been like a little after Dirty 30, but Johnny Bananas did like a little interview thing. I think like it was Evan and Kenny, and I think like Mark was involved in it too. And they were all talking about like, oh, would you ever go back? Like Mark was like, oh man, it'd be great if you guys were back on the challenge. And like Evan and Kenny were like, yeah, I'm not gonna go back on to try and win $12,000. And Bananas is like, I just won $1 million. What are you talking about? Like, so either they're naive about it or they're completely blinded to the fact that this has real money now and it's like a real legit thing. Like, yeah,
yeah, the challenge has been big money for a while, and I think them pretending like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna do all this for 10 bands or whatever. I think it's a little disingenuous. Like, come on, and do they think we're dumb enough to not think that they know? Like,
right,
we
yeah.
know that you know. I don't
It,
think that he watches religiously anymore, but you know, I
I think
get
it's
it.
weird. I think that's weird. Like, I feel like if I was on a show, I would watch it when I'm not on. Just in the fact, like, we know that we have all stars and we have, like, people are getting brought back, like a V from season 12. I would watch it just so I can keep up with the drama and keep up with the in the know.
Yeah, but his relationship with the challenge is a little bit different.
No,
There's a
no, I understand that. I just mean in general. Like, I'd probably never want to watch myself, but seasons I'm not on, yeah, let's check it out. These are my
yeah.
friends.
I mean,
These are my coworkers.
oh please. Besides Aviva, I'm not Aviva. Besides Aviv, Doral, and some of the old school names, he doesn't even know half the people. Moving on, I loved this. I love so many things about this mini final. To you, what were some of your favorite things to take away from this, and what are some of the worst things? Some of the things that they really need to work on.
So what I really like is the fact that I mean it was such an equalizer. Everything was equal. It's like, okay, physical aspect of running, digging for something. Maybe you can paddleboard really well and maybe you can't. Maybe you have great memory, maybe you don't. Like it's hot out. How well is your conditioning? How well can you breathe? Obviously, obviously, we see people that are very intelligent that can kind of thrive in this and they can make up ground, in we see Olivia like get like, the third woman to leave and everything. We see that we see people that aren't really strategic and smart. And we see like Jenny the day before a daily is hitting legs. Like, what are you doing? Also,
Listen,
stop working out lifting weights when you're
I
in the
hit
house.
legs yesterday, and I just recently changed my gym. And now I got out of Planet Fitness. I'm back to a real gym. So now I'm lifting with real weights and stuff. And let me tell you something. I'm in so much pain. I'm on 6 Tylenol Maxes right now. My legs are on fire. And granted, I did go 2 weeks without working out, but yeah, I'm feeling that. There was so many great things in this. I love the fact that Olivia won and she couldn't even, she couldn't even believe that she was given
Oh,
permission
I
to
got it
keep running
right.
on. Oh, it was me? I can go. I thought that was really, really cute and really nice. And I actually like Olivia a lot, even though she did cross Nerys. I think one of the major things that was missing from this was swimming. I think
Oh,
they should
there.
have threw some swimming in there. Paddleboard to a certain place, swim the rest. They touched a lot of bases on this mini final, but not touching swimming, I think, was a misstep.
Yeah, but they don't really touch swimming a lot in these mini finals. Like it rarely happens.
Yeah,
They save
true.
that for the final. Like it's a
But
build up for the final.
this season has been a little light on swimming, though.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it just could be. I mean, their location could just be a really big indicator of that because where we're sitting at, we're at.
Vietnam has a beach, I believe, right?
Yeah, but I mean, it's really hot there and everything, and so maybe the whole aspect of like not wanting everybody to like, because think about how hot it is, and people are complaining about dehydration. What if people actually were swimming, got out of the
Oh,
water, and then it's
Vietnam
like,
has mad shoreline. There's mad
I'm
shoreline.
sure we're gonna see in the final. But overall, one thing I'm really disappointed in is TJ. I saw a comment on this too on Twitter. Laurel pretty much quit,
Yeah.
and he didn't rip into her.
Um, I understand that TJ has been light on quitters, and because some people have to quit, and it's bigger than the challenge. Some of these people are pregnant. Some of these people have injuries. Um, Let me tell you something. Why
Those two
I
things are not quitting. Those things are I'm physically unable to compete. I'm physically unable to compete.
true, but I'm kind of okay with her quitting on this one. She
I,
said because you know what,
I'm sure she took to
Pe-
Twitter and said stuff,
pe-
but Cara dug and tugged on
you know
her.
what, she she left her guard down for a second and Cara threw a jab, and I think she's well within her right to do so with all this shit she's been going through. Let me tell you something about this though. She's sitting there, and I think Cara hit her right on the head. Laura is up here competing with a crop of females that she's not used to competing against. Before, her biggest pain in the asses was going to be Cara and Camilla and stuff like that. But these new girls, they're not fucking around. And think about how many great girls have already left. You know, the Caseys and the Nereses and stuff like that. And you know what? She looked around and she said, "You know what? I ain't got it. I'm not gonna waste anybody's more time. I'm gonna take my ball and go home." Um, we hate to see somebody quit because we always think about the people who didn't get on, but she knew that she knew she did not have what it took to win this one, and she went home. It's very uncompetitive and very unsportsmanlike, but
Some
on a
people
personal
are
level, I don't know.
some people are good losers, some people aren't. It's simple as that. Some people can handle like defeat, and they and I always come back to Jordan's speech of this is that winners talk, losers walk. Um, it's I think she just didn't want to get embarrassed and run all the way there and everything.
One hundred
Yeah,
percent, and that's my final cap off. Now, if you just realize, like, you know what, this game is really, really intense. It's not for me. I think I need to step away because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to win this. I don't feel like I'm going to have a good time. I think that's valid. Let me tell you why with Laurel, it is not valid. She didn't wake up the day before the final to do this. She didn't do this after watching two people compete in elimination and realize that this isn't cut out for her. She didn't wake up, eat breakfast and then realize, hey, I don't really want to be here right now. She was going to lose anyway. She was going to get purged anyway, and that's what makes it cowardly. You were going to lose. You were going to get purged. And what happened is somebody said, hey, you know what? You're fired. Hey, you can't fire me. I quit.
yeah, yeah. That's what.
That's
Yeah,
that's what it
yeah.
was. and that's what makes it not valid. Like Flora, um, was it? Yeah, Flora. You know, she was getting ready to start the daily, and she's like, TJ, listen, I'm old, my body's not up to it. She's like, I'm going to bow out. I came as far as I'm going to come. Thank you for the opportunity and bowed out. Granted, she wasn't really in the running to do
I
much
still don't
anyway.
like that either. Just do the just
I
do
wasn't a
the
fan of that
thing.
either,
Just do the thing.
but I get it. On a personal level, I get it. For Laurel, it was not cool because you were going to get purged anyway, and you just tried to save face a little bit. There's no point in that, and it made you look a lot worse. These last 2 seasons for Laurel, even with her winning one of these, it's not been a good look.
Well, I did hear that her knee was injured on All Stars 4,
She could have
which
said
might have
that.
also which might have also came into play with all the stars getting handed to her. So that way it was less running for her. Like that could have come in play. I'm not sure. I've heard things about that and everything. It's here's the thing. It has nothing to do that it's Laurel. Anybody would have done this, I'd have been upset. Like if Michelle would have turned and been like, ugh, I'd have been like, what are you doing? Like, um, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of poetic because, Laurel and Michelle had this whole beef and everything. And now Michelle has gotten over on Laurel 3 times. She sent her in for whatever season 38, and they went home. Her and Jack went home, and they got eliminated because Michelle and Jay sent him in. And then on 39, she comes in as a mercenary champion. No, did Michelle beat her? Or no, Michelle beat
But she'll beat Cora.
Okay, no, Michelle beat Cara. That's right. Michelle beat Cara. Didn't beat Laurel. Never mind. Okay, but then here beats her here and everything, and they have this whole little beef and everything. It is interesting because I saw this and I was like, oh, Michelle's going home. Like when I heard it was a purge, I was like, oh, Michelle's going home.
I had
She's
her
probably
pick
gonna,
to go home too.
yeah. I was like, she's out. I bet. You know what? Theo's probably gonna go home because he's gonna be exhausted. Like that's what I thought. I thought advantage was gonna be too much. But yeah, I mean, overcome. Good for her. Good for everybody. I mean, overall, everybody performed really well in this daily. I was thoroughly impressed. So, and Kylan comes out and gets the win. So does Tori. This is Kylan. So far in the season, Kylan has 2 elimination wins and 5 daily wins.
Colin is shaping up to be a really good competitor in the veins of a Wes, a Jordan, um, a Bananas, kind of good all around. He still has a lot to prove because closing that gap from being great at winning dailies and getting into the final and winning one is still pretty sizable. Michelle is proven to be such a more adept player than a lot of people give her credit for. Even mine. I'm always bewildered by how much power she gains and how much say she has in the house of things. It always catches me off guard. But to see her actually even holding up on the performance level, it's really great to see. And it's really great to see from this new crop because this new crop doesn't have a lot of leaders.
Yeah.
A lot of the leaders nowadays are people coming from Are You the One? The Tories, the Devons. Norris is kind of stepping in that role. Horatio's kind of a beast. But it's rare we see people with the kind of magnetism and the charisma of the CTs and the Bananas and the Wesses and people's been running this game. It's going to have to pass on soon, and it makes me hopeful seeing some of these younger people able to really capitalize off of that. This mini final was absolutely great. Colin gets the W, which was great. Jordan came in second. Corey came in third. I thought that was a pretty great lineup. Tori got the W for the woman. Rachel came in second. And I'll tell you 100%, I do believe that was intentional.
Yep. It was.
Olivia,
It was.
And Olivia came in third, which is also good to see.
We forgot one thing to talk about. I swear the challenge. Either maybe other podcasts are saying this too, or maybe it's really big on social media. But we said like, hey, we're not stupid. Show us what's going on, and they did it. Different legs. They showed us who was in first through fifth, and then they
Yeah,
showed us each person finish with their time. And I'm like, they're listening to us. Thank you.
this is
Like,
all we wanted.
we don't
This
gotta
is all we
hide
wanted.
this.
And,
Like,
and we don't need and don't get me wrong, in some cases, the dramatic, Colin, you are not the winner. Yeah, I get that.
yeah.
That's fine every once in a while. But man, just present it to us differently. I
And here's
understand the mix. I thought they did really well with that here.
and the way that they can fix this, because I know when we do these and like people go at different times, that's when they don't show us the times, but when everybody goes at the same time they do. But like the building bridges last week, what they could have done is shown where everybody was at, and then like just to show us where like the 2 guys are. Like this person was faster than this person because commentary said it was. And then when another person gets within like 30 seconds, erase the timer. Don't let us see the timer. because that way we still know, like, okay, they're getting close to that time. We don't know, but anyways, overall, really good. Yeah, overall it was a pretty good performance, and yeah,
You know, I'm not even gonna put it here that Laurel quit. Simply plain, Laurel got purged, and Nehemiah got purged, and it's really sad to see him go because we haven't seen a lot of him this season, and we know why. It's because he is a decent human being. He is funny. He is affable. People like him. He doesn't get in drama. He's not out here fucking a whole bunch of these young girls, which doesn't get you a lot of TV time. And granted, I'm glad he doesn't get the chance of boring that some of the other people get. I think everybody kind of
he
recognizes
used
the kind of
to.
person he is.
He
Yeah, he
used
used to,
to.
but also I think that's really got to be on production. You got to find a lane to showcase some of the stuff that he brings to the show. Show some of those conversations that he has with people that make people like him so much. Him and Corey came in tight. Show some of those interactions.
I mean, we have like Duel 2, and everybody's making fun of him for like meditating. And then Rivals, he's meditating, and everybody comes in and makes fun of him and Wes, and Kenny's meditating too. They're like making fun of him. And it's like, that's who he is. That's background. Like, why are we letting people make fun of him and we're like highlighting that? And now, like we even saw like Bananas. Bananas is like, I'm just over here meditating, just being calm, and this guy's creating chaos. Like he's playfully, he's not making fun of him for it. Like
Right.
he's accepting him for who he is. And
A
yeah,
little
I
bit of
mean,
growth.
and really Nehemiah getting purged out. I mean, it does suck, but Nehemiah still got top 8 out of 20 guys. Of he beat CT in an elimination.
That's
he,
big.
he he did very well this season. I think this really shows like the type of competitor he is. That he can compete and make it long into seasons
But
that people don't
also,
expect.
I think that was a little bit by design. I think
Hmm.
he wanted to lay low, didn't want to create a whole lot of chaos. He wasn't. I mean, think about how many times have he been targeted this season? Maybe twice. So I think he was. I think he was playing a very good, understated game, and I think it was intentional to stay off the radar. And I think with this, his luck just ran out.
Here's the
So
thing: if he gets 6th place, he doesn't go into elimination. He's in the top 6 guys. Like
still a target.
that happens.
But check
He
this
wouldn't
out.
have went in. Bananas would
He
have went in still.
Bananas was going in. And
Yeah.
moving on to this deliberation, Bananas said it perfectly. He's like, this is going to be the most pointless deliberation. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything he could have said or done that would have kept him out. I felt Tori made a goodwill gesture at kind of putting the animosity to the side. Hey, we've been shooting at each other. You're going in because even if we were friends right now, you'll still be going in against this lineup. If it comes down between you and Jordan, you know which way I'm going to go. Can't even really take that personally. I
It
thought
really
she
seemed
made,
like it seemed like production pulled her over and said, "Can we make this a little dramatized? Make it seem like there's a 5% chance Jordan goes in." Like that's what it seemed like.
well, she said herself, she was just like, me and Bananas had a friendship. The least I could do is hear him out. But she did just, I thought she did try to kind of like, all right, let's kind of settle it down, push it aside. You're going to go in, but, we don't have to be mad at each other. And I thought Bananas was really childish in the way he played it. Absolutely hilarious, clipping your toenails, blowing it on him. I understand he's being a showman. I thought it was funny. Was it disrespectful? Yes, but I thought it was very playful in the disrespect. What I didn't like is it looked like she was, I don't know, it looked like she was sincere and trying to bury
So
the hatchet a little bit.
Theo could have stepped in because Theo did say, "I want to go back against Jordan because he's the only guy to ever beat me in elimination." And he could have said, "Tori, here's what we do. If you put in Jordan, okay, let's say Jordan wins or I win. Either way, Aviv, Rachel, and Jenny are gonna be put in. And if not Rachel, Cara. So 3 really good competitors that you don't want to see in a final, we're gonna nominate to help take one of them out for you." I'm just saying like that's the only play that like Bananas would have been like, Theo, tell her you want Jordan. It wouldn't have happened,
Let,
but that's the only play.
let me tell you something. And I don't know why. We do know that Tori is still in love with Jordan, right?
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
we know this, right?
Love never truly goes away. It's there.
You haven't seen me interact with me and my
Well,
baby mother, but
but Tori's not in a new love right now, so it's
which
different.
I'm joking. We're actually very, very cool and very friendly.
Let's
But
move on. Let's move on.
but no, seriously though, do you not think? I still think they're gonna end up back together at some point.
Yeah, it could have just been wrong time, right people, wrong time,
You know what?
right person, wrong time.
For anybody who's watching the show, I would love for you to tell me who broke up with who. Because I'm pretty sure Jordan broke up with her.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty positive.
Pretty positive.
Yeah. You know
She's
what's
still
kind of great
positive.
too, though? This season has been like the season of love. Like outside of like obviously Kylan and Naya, there's some drama there we're gonna learn about. I don't know, something happened, whatever.
Wait, wait, wait.
Apparently,
Between who?
uh,
Colin
Kylan
and.
and Naya, like off the season, they're not together anymore.
Oh, no,
Um,
no. She already. They already addressed that.
yeah, but I've just heard that there was like, I mean, it wasn't her actually. I think it was him. I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
but I don't know. She said she had no interest, and she's like, what we had was in Vietnam, and it stayed there. So I
Yeah,
had no interest in pursuing this outside of the challenge house,
I think
which
she's just
makes
being
sense.
very. I think she's being very, very mature about it. But we see, um,
How do we,
uh,
wait, time out? Because what did Colin do?
I don't know. I think she's just like Naya's on this like I'm a better human being now like tour that she's been on for the past like 5 6 years, and I think that
And
she
it
just has
seems
a lot of.
legit too.
It is
I
legit,
actually
but
feel a little bad for not giving her a little bit more grace when she first said it. I mean, I mentioned before how her, give people grace thing has really affected me personally. And I feel a little embarrassed that I was kind of so standoffish about it before, but mainly because
that's
I don't trust Jordan at all. And I wasn't really trusting her. But judging from what we've seen from her and
that's my
judging from,
point.
good for her, man. Good
That's
for
what I'm
her.
saying. No, I could be reading into things wrong, and Kylan could have done nothing wrong. But I just think that she's really mature and really grown. But anyways, back to the love thing is that Michelle and Devin are still together. Olivia and Theo are still together. Um,
Michelle and Devin just seems to make so much fucking sense, don't it?
yeah, they
It
really
makes
do.
sense.
But let's,
And
you
they're
know, hey,
cute.
hey,
They're cute together. It
we've
makes
been run,
sense.
we've been taking a lot of pit stops on this episode,
Yeah.
including what was at the beginning. Let's go ahead and get into cramped out.
Was it cramping out?
I got
Now,
cramped out.
I got cramping out.
Well, whatever. It's same concept.
Whatever. I'll go back and review. Um,
Tight space card game.
yes.
That's
Now I know what I'm going to name the episode. Tight Space Card Game. Uh, First look at this. First off, I didn't think much of it. I thought it was going to be dumb. I was so freaking entertained throughout this whole entire thing. So entertained. And let me tell you something. There was nothing, first impression was wrong. There was nothing about this elimination that I didn't like. This is a perfect elimination. And against
I
two completely different body types and two different strategies, I thought it was great.
see. Last time Bananas was an elimination against Ryan, I know a lot of people complained about it being on the four wheelers or whatever whatever, but it was really an equalizer where people
It was
like
as fair as it could be.
it was actually more fair for Ryan because if they did anything else, like you'd say Bananas physically would have won anything. And now we come here and in same concept. If it's anything physical, Theo probably would have won, but it's more of an equalizer. But really, it does favor Bananas a little bit more.
Just
The
because of
only
his body type,
yes,
and you can't control that.
no. The only thing I would have slightly changed about this is that instead of going for 1 minute for like 10 rounds or whatever, and then just going straight to 30, I think after 5 rounds they should have went to 45 seconds, and then they should have went to like you know what I mean. They should have like
Hmm.
because if you think about it, the buildup of trying to get out of there 15 seconds less, you can now build on that. And then trying to get it 15 seconds less again, you can build on that. But going, hey, you have half as much time to get through. You haven't trained yourself to get through that fast in that situation yet. And so it was really, really difficult. Somebody did it, obviously, but it was like the very first time we did it, it was over for Theo. You know what I mean? Like Theo needed that
Hmm.
extra 5 seconds.
He did.
And he still got through. He
I
still
thought it
got
was
through.
great that he said he's seen a documentary about cave divers and they always put one arm out because it makes it. I thought it was great. I thought it was a great pickup. Just taking something that you've seen randomly and able to use it in a in an elimination. It was great to watch. It was
And we
fun to watch.
and we saw both Theo and Bananas adapt. At first they were crawling through, and then we saw after that they were pulling themselves
Mhm.
forward and twisting through. It
It
was
was
fantastic.
it was fantastic. Um, all reality, I thought that maybe one or two more cameras inside would have been great, but
Mhm.
when they bring this out in season 45, when it comes back again, I do got a couple of adjustments to
A
make it even a
GoPro, a
little bit
GoPro
better.
on their chest would have been perfect.
I think that would have been great too. But check this out: one, you can spin them. The cylinder can be spinning, and two, set it on fire. Or just put a fire underneath,
Right?
like an actual fire.
I don't know how well it would spin if. Okay, stop with the fire. But I don't know how well it would spin. I don't know.
Cook one of them.
I don't, this isn't.
And
This
then you
isn't.
call it rotisserie.
This isn't Saw. Like, but
Set it on
the
fire.
rotation one wouldn't be a bad idea if you know what I mean. Like, I don't know. It'd be interesting. Or maybe like I don't
Setting it on
even know.
fire.
Like, no, maybe like those little balls that you play in like the ball pits.
Hmm.
Maybe like somebody just like throws them in there when you get like halfway, and they kind of just like get in your way as you're trying to crawl through or something like that.
Lube them down.
Okay.
It makes it. I mean, pause.
We're
But
talking
it'll
about
make
two
everything
different
slippery.
shows right now, man. Okay. Like you're wanting to like oil them up for a Thanksgiving roast. Like, like
You know what?
Jesus.
Give somebody a hose and just have them spray it. Like now you got to also do this wet. Like make it more
Yes.
miserable. That'd
You
have
know
been
what?
great.
Actually, that wouldn't have been a bad idea for them to have to like fully immerse themselves in like an ice bath and then get out and play the card game.
Oh, that would be great.
Like
Or
get your
having to
mind
play the
shaking.
card game in ice. Like, hey, if you get there first, uh, yeah, you get to pick the card, but you got to sit in the ice bath longer.
Yeah. And that,
You
that
know,
actually that probably would have been better of what you do is every time you get there, we're gonna play the ice game or we're gonna play the card game, you both sit in the ice, and if you get it wrong, you have to sit in there an extra 15 seconds. And then you each still get one pull. And then it's like your body, your body's starting to shiver. Overall though, we're
just
picking at things. It was great.
it was great. It was great all around. Even the high low was great, and the presentation with the big cards. It was really great. What did you make of of Josh having enough of Michelle shit for cheering both of them on?
She's like, "You're completely going against me." He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm friends with these guys. I'm cheering them both on." In my opinion, everybody should, when it's like this, and you can't actually like, I mean, granted, you could help a little bit on where to put the polls and everything, but when they're just doing the thing, it should be, "Come on, guys, let's go, let's go." Like Jordan does that almost every elimination he's ever
Facts.
watched. He cheers for everybody because he just wants to see a good competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Josh
Um,
wasn't wrong here. He had every right to
no.
cheer for both of them. He wasn't doing too much on anybody. I thought it was fine. I think Michelle, we forget she does get the paranoia bug every once in a while, and that was kind of it. And and as this game is tightening up, it's starting to get a little bit more. If you're not with me, you're against me.
Yeah, here's the thing. Remember back on War of the Worlds 1, and we had Bananas versus Zach, and Kyle was rooting for Zach, and then Bananas then won. He was like, "What the hell?" Kyle either should have not said anything, or you root for them both. Come on, guys,
Hmm.
keep going. Push yourselves. Push yourselves. You guys are doing great. Like, there's nothing wrong with just saying basic down the middle stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And but Josh still didn't do anything wrong. Michelle was doing a little bit too much. Just a wonderful, wonderful episode, man. I know some of the episodes have been hit and miss, and I know we dogged on some of them, but these last couple of episodes have been great in drama, have been great in dailies, have been great in eliminations. I think we're really seeing the best of the season right now. It's a damn shame it's about to come to an end.
and Theo's like what? He's like 6-2 in eliminations. Like he's
Yeah,
in
and
four seasons. In
only lost
four
to
seasons.
Bananas and Jordan.
And
That's
he's beat Bananas before too. You know what's crazy? Last time he faced Bananas, they were in those little cages. They showed it.
yeah, and I had to do the
Every time he
rolling
faces
stuff.
Bananas, it's like Bananas is like, "Hey, put him in a tight situation that it's really hard for him to move his body." Like,
Um, just really, really loved it. It was great to watch. I mean, even the wife was captivated watching it. I thought it was really good. Even the music and how they built tension on it.
mhm.
Wonderful, wonderful stuff. Before we get out of here, we got to hear it. How has the power rankings changed?
Okay, so what do you want? Do you want my top five, or do you want all 12 or all 13 competitors, but men and women? Because I have them both.
I don't think we need the whole 13 because let's be serious, the bottom 6 or 7.
Well, I'm saying if you want the whole 13 is encompassing men and women.
Okay, give us the whole 13 and we'll discuss the top 5.
Okay, so if we
Start from
put
the
them
bottom.
separately, let's start from the bottom on the women's side. Olivia's last for me. I think
Oh, wait,
she just
hold on, wait. During this episode, did you separate them and do a
yeah,
male female?
I did. Yeah. I have both. I said I did during this episode. Because I already have the top in my head. I already have the ranking. I
Right.
just only put out a top five. So Okay, so Olivia's last for me. I think she just lost a major supporter on the men's side, which you need on
Hmm.
the men's side. You need that. Doesn't seem like she really has anybody really. And then I have Kara at 6. Again, she's on an island. She isn't performing that great. I have Michelle slightly above her, just because Michelle is still doing well in this game. Did really well at beating Laurel there. She beat Naya last week. Aviva's at 4 only because of her injury. Jenny's at 3, Tori's at 2, and Rachel's at 1. Because even though Tori's winning these dailies, I think Rachel is still outplaying her.
You know,
When we go to the
Jenny, there was some real gaps in her performance from the stuff we've seen from her, today. You still got her so high when she's been
yeah,
tagged as somebody who doesn't have any cardio.
Yeah, but she's got I think a lot of guys want to work with her still. I think she's up higher on a lot of lists than like Michelle or Olivia. Plus I think Aviv's injury helps her too in the long term of things. On the men's side, starting at 6, I have Derek at 6, Corey at 5, Josh at 4, Bananas at 3, Jordan at 2, and Kyland at 1.
Why do you have Josh higher than Corey? Corey
I think
finished higher in the mini final.
yeah, but Corey just lost Nehemiah as his like one true
Mm,
alliance member. And so I just think that that's just kind of a downfall.
Josh has lost Theo.
Yeah, but Josh still has Bananas and Kyland and yeah, I mean, yeah, he has Bananas and Kyland. He has number 1 and number 3 in this
I think
game.
I think Josh is a little bit more dangerous than people give him credit for.
Josh has Rachel, Josh has Tori, Josh has Michelle, Josh has Olivia. So I mean, he's
It's
in a
kind of
better
sitting
spot, I
pretty.
think. Yeah.
I think he'll ride that all the way to a final where
So
he'll come in last place.
if we mix them, Bananas is number 5 overall. Tori's number 4 overall. Jordan's number 3. Rachel's number 2, and Kylan's number 1. The top 3 did not change at all
Makes
from
sense,
last week. So yeah,
especially with Colin coming at 1, Rachel coming in 2 for the girls. It very much makes sense. Very much makes
yeah,
sense. Did you see the previews for the next episode?
sort of, not really.
Yeah, kind of. I wasn't paying attention.
I try.
Blood Money 47 tagged me in it, but I haven't really looked it over. I do kind of like being surprised and not knowing what's going to happen.
But like I said, the episode is called "Best Friends for Era." So Michelle and Olivia gonna get into it, or Jordan and Tori gonna get into it, or Bananas
I don't
and
know.
Josh? Like, um, let's
Bananas
give
and
real
Josh is
quick.
best
Let's give
friends.
major props. Like Olivia and Michelle makes sense that they're still here in the top 7 because Era 4 was so dominant in the team portion. You gotta give credit to Derek. Derek is now top 6 out of 20 men. It's like fantastic. Like Derek's All Stars 4 plus this are way better than anything else he's done in the challenge.
I am loving this Derek rebrand. It's
We get an
great to see him.
underdog.
Huh? Yeah, a great underdog. He's still likable. He's funny, and people like him in the house. He doesn't have a lot of like needless drama surrounding him. He's not too over dramatic. He's bringing a lot of great stuff to the show. And he kind of always did. So it's nice seeing him shine, and it's nice seeing him get his just desserts. And I really hope he does well.
Has Josh ever been to a final? Was he on the final of USA 2?
I do not remember.
And then Derek made the final of All Stars
All
4,
Stars
but
4.
then was out. If Josh made it on USA 2, I can't remember. But right now I think Michelle's the only person of these 13 left that is, well, I don't know, has Kylan been to a final?
Nope, he got knocked out by Nerys.
That's right. So Kylan and Michelle are the only 2 out of these 13 that haven't been to a final. And on top of that, there's still 7 champions left. But
Very interesting.
that's it.
But let me go ahead and close this out before my dog have a fucking panic attack. Thank you guys all for watching and thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at LWC Podcast. Follow us on Facebook and TikTok at Love War Challenges. I keep saying I'm going to change it to one thing and I keep not doing it. I'll try to do it today. Make sure you listen to Love War Challenge Podcast on Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, your favorite podcast app. Once again, I am MTV Malik. He is Tyler Louder. This is Love War Challenges. Good day.